Welcome to Inbetween Diary of a Film Part 10, Tutorial 10. I'm back after being away for the summer, and here we're going to talk about casting. Exactly what you have to do to cast your film, assuming you've got the script, you've got the funding all lined up, or at least it's starting to gel. The first thing you have to do is go to a casting call website like Mandy, Casting Call Pro. Just ask ChatGPT which ones are the most popular, and go there and put out your casting call, and you will be shocked. You will get so many responses. When I did this back in 2007, I got basically about 200, 300 responses in 24 hours. I had to shut off the casting call. And then after that, you start going through all the actors one by one, and seeing how they might fit into your film. You might have some idea of some A or B list actor to be your main actor, but keep your eyes open, because you'll most likely won't have the funds to be able to get an actor of that level. And so that's what I did. I actually found dozens of actors, and then I started to plan two casting sessions. Part of my film was filmed in New York, another part in the UK, and part of it in Tokyo. So I had two sessions, one in New York to try to cast the American actors, like the lead actor, who turned out to be Kevin T. Collins, who did a fantastic job, and then the next one in London, and I booked it at a very, very high class hotels. One was the Tribeca Grand in New York, which is now the Roxy, and it was basically a South Kensington Knightsbridge hotel in London. And I shortlisted everyone, and I got them to do two things: basically prepare a monologue that they thought was close to the character that they wanted to cast for, and then also prepare a couple scenes. I gave them a choice of 2 scenes out of 5 for each of the characters that they were casting for. And so when the casting actually started, when I showed up, I was somewhat nervous, but I found that it went extremely well. The actors were very pleasant, and so many of them are so talented. There are just so many talented actors out there to choose from, and it was just a matter of finding who was right for each of the role. But you will know it in your heart. Like when Kevin T. Collins walked in, I knew he had to be Jan. When David Richter walked in, I knew he had to be Martin. And he's actually the brother of Max Richter, who's won Cannes awards for film scores and has his own electronic music. And Sarah Cabrera, I knew she had to be Lisi, and so on. And also especially with Lewinstra, the German actor Michael Chateau, came all the way from Berlin, and as soon as he walked into the room, I knew that was going to be my Lewinstra. He had very much, Gary Oldman, David Thewlis kind of vibe. So you will know. And then once you've kind of thought about it and decided who your main actors are going to be, there's other actors that you meet that you really like, but they didn't quite get the role that they wanted. And then you start to see how they can fit into the other roles, into the whole pyramid of roles in your film. So I was able to put out offers within a matter of weeks and basically sign an agreement. And there was some negotiating going on, but we discussed that previously about how much to pay actors and what you have to promise them in your negotiations. So it all went very, very smoothly, and it was an amazing experience to have so many actors so passionate about my work, and to see how each one gave a slightly different interpretation of the characters that I created, and made that character live even more strongly in my mind than it did before. So casting is a wonderful experience, and when you get the right actors, when you're there and they're doing a reading, and you just know in your heart that actor is going to light up your script and help their career as well by stepping into this sort of costume that you created, and it's just such a great moment. You're just like, yes. And I left both casting sessions feeling so charged. The last actor I had to cast all the way from Tokyo, because he lived in Tokyo, and he was involved in the Tokyo scene. And I did that simply by video chat. But you really want to have a nice location, or at least a kind of a kitschy, kind of stylish location. Like if you're like a Quentin Tarantino style filmmaker, maybe you wanted it in some kind of a, cheesy, 1950s motel, with palm trees outside and a swimming pool or something. It's got to have, radiate class and style and some distinction to sort of let the actors know that you're a serious artist and not just a hack. But anyway, the novel version of Inbetween is available. It actually was first a novel, and then a film, and then finally the published novel came out after the film. You can buy it on Amazon or anywhere else. And my new novel, The Orphean, which goes into more of a modernist kind of Kafka, Peter Handke, who won the Nobel Prize in 2019, that kind of direction came out a year ago, and you could also get that on Amazon. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope to see you again.